for checking in. We hope you're enjoying the series of conversations that we're having. I think the next topic that we had was from one of your listeners.
Ego.
EGO, ego. Ego is the enemy, right? Like how Ryan Holiday says in his book. Of course, we know that in relationships, whether husband, wife, whether it's boyfriend, girlfriend, whether it's brother, sister, when we have egos are hurt, then we don't talk to each other and, we kind of blackmail each other and stuff like that. But in business, ego is the beginning of your downfall. If you have pride, that is the beginning of downfall. If you are the owner of an enterprise and you go and it's dirty and you say, oh, I can't sweep this floor because my employee is supposed to do it or my sweeper is doing it, that's the beginning of downfall. We are too small actually to have a big ego. That's what I would say, right? Regardless of whatever it is, my uncle would say, like, if you go up from the sky and you look down, we don't even exist, right? And so as entrepreneurs, many of us have big egos. I also have a big ego, right? Like sometimes we think that, oh, I don't want to meet that person because it's not worth the time, or I don't want to do the small task because it's not worth the time. But pride comes before downfall. Okay, and as a business, if you're doing well, if you're getting traction, then you start moving into a bigger car, you use a fancier phone, you have a fancier social life, right? Because your ego is hurt to hang around with people that actually don't matter. Ego. On the other hand, if you're humble, right, it's so important to be humble. Like look at Nelson Mandela, Mahatma Gandhi. Look at our own context, Mr. T.K. Angami. These people are phenomenal entrepreneurs. Look at Ratan Tata, for example. He's like the wealthiest, well-known person ever. And yet he's so humble in all his approach, in the way he does business, in the way he cares for people, right? So ego is extremely dangerous if you have a big ego. I've met a lot of business associates that we work, especially people in the creative design. And then today I look around, their businesses don't exist anymore. Now, it's their individual choice, right? But when the market tells you that, hey, maybe, your product is great, but maybe you could change something about it, many of them don't want to listen to it. They'll be like, I'm the creative guy. I'm the smartest guy in the room. My ideas are better than your ideas. But remember, who's paying you for your work? It's your client. It's your customers, right? Many of us open fancy restaurants with a fancy menu. But then the customer would just like to come and eat momo and chow, for example, right? Sadly, those businesses can't sustain as well, right? So I think in business, ego has to come like to a minimal, whether you're negotiating, whether you're talking to someone. In business, the communication, your conversations is most important, right? And that'll happen when you can talk at the same level with someone very senior, you can talk at the same level with someone very junior, someone very rich or someone very poor. It doesn't even matter, right? So ego, keep it aside. It does not work for relationships. It does not work for your business. It does not work for your growth. It will only hamper you. So if you're an entrepreneur, if you're an enterprise that you're growing, keep your ego low. If you're an enterprise, you're a business that is struggling, keep your ego low. And if you're an enterprise or a business that you think that has a great future, this is something that can harm you. So please be careful, keep your ego low, that's important.